Good afternoon, YouTube. This is man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Combat Sports Talk. I don't get to use that moniker too often. As you know, I concentrate a lot on women's bodybuilding, but every time I get a chance to talk about women in combat sports, be it boxing, MMA, even wrestling, even though it's more sports entertainment, but still in the line of combat sports. So anyway, we have here a big event coming tomorrow night. It's going to be in Madison Square Garden. It's going to be on Netflix, and it's being promoted by MVP, which is Jake Paul's promotions. Not a big fan of Jake Paul. I'm honestly say I'm not a big fan, but I really appreciate what he's been doing, especially in the world of mixed martial arts. To me, he's not a great fighter, but some people give him too much credit. Anyway, folks, as you know, this is going to be the third fight between Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. And these ladies, they've been fighting for quite some time. The last fight was just about almost like a few months ago. I think the end of last year, the beginning of the first year. I'm trying to remember. But anyway, this is what makes this so special. This is an all women's fight card. We have on here 8 fights, and 6 of them are title bouts. I'm going to concentrate on the ones I do know about, especially the fighters I pay attention to. Most definitely these 2 ladies here, Amanda the Real Deal Serrano versus Katie Taylor. And these 2 have had a rivalry since their first fight. And the last fight, I'm telling you folks, I don't think Katie Taylor won that fight. I don't know what the judge. I'm not a judge. I'm a fan. And you see Amanda wearing the headgear. Yeah, you might have to do that because Katie Taylor's a dirty fighter. She pulls the pages from guys like Evander Holyfield fighters in the past. She uses her head. She can't use anything. She uses her head. And Katie Taylor, I'm a fan of the Real Deal Serrano. She's been in the game for quite a long time. Multiple champion, across multiple divisions. Has the best record. It was pretty much. I think she's almost like over 30 wins, and maybe only maybe counting her 2 losses to Katie Taylor, about 5 or 6 losses. While Katie Taylor, her to me, her record's kind of stacked. A couple of her wins are suspect, counting the first 2 fights with Amanda Serrano, and one fight I think she fought a while back where she should have lost, but then she had a rematch just to prove that she beat the other person. And then she only has 1 loss, and it was a guarantee. It's the only official loss on her record. And these 2 ladies have been going at it on social media. I mean, this is really a rivalry, and I love this. Boxing needs it, especially for the women. We need real good rivalry. We don't see it much anymore, and even the men's boxing. But see, the women's boxing, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, these 2 ladies are going at each other on social media. And, their first fight was almost, about 4 years ago, I might as well say. Time really flies. And to me, I still believe that Amanda Serrano won that first fight. I don't, like I said again, I'm a fan, not a judge, but I think she won that first fight. And then the second fight, well, it was pretty good because it was part of the undercard of the Tyson Paul fight, which was a very disappointing main card. I was rooting for Mike Tyson. I'm telling you, no matter what man say, Mike could have beat that boy. Maybe not had the speed, but she had the power. But Katie Taylor's skill is using her head. She goes in head first. But Amanda Serrano, she's a good fighter. She knows how to use her pretty much her defense. She knows how to attack the body. Most fighters don't do that too often. Maybe focus more on the head. But you know what? She even asked if they could do a 3-minute round fight. But Katie Taylor turned it down because I think Taylor has stamina issues. You gotta think about it. Extra minute can make a difference. So these ladies are about to go down, being the headline of a all-women's fight card. And Jake, like I said again, he's been stepping up. Recently saw he's helping out Ben Askren, a former UFC fighter who's been sick. He was dealing with some severe illness, and he's been helping. He's been putting his money where his mouth is, and being called out people like Dana White about paying fighters. So anyway, the first fight, this is one that really gets my interest. This is Tam Tebal versus Mary Kasmasa, and this is going to be, I think, a women's middleweight 3-minute round fight. Wow. While Tam, Kasma, Mary, she is 6-0, and she's fighting for quite some time. Tam, she's 2-0, and she's been an Olympian. She's been an Olympian twice, and she represents Great Britain. This is gonna be good. I like to see this. I don't have Netflix, so maybe somebody will do a live stream. Maybe my man, the coach, would. And I'll watch that. So, and these are two up and comers. What the future of them? Maybe, as you know, climb up. Maybe fight somebody like Clarissa Shields or whoever's in the top of the women's division right now in their class. If possible, just maybe more fights. As you know, with the bigger women, it's hard to find good fights for them, but it's there. I think they both have a future. Next up, we have here for the WCB interim super lightweight championship is we have here Chantel Cameron versus Jessica Cobra Kamara. Now, Jessica, what I know about, she's from Canada. And she fought quite a few fighters. I think she's been around for a good while. I think also she's training partner with Jessica McCaskills. I remember seeing some videos and pictures of her together, but I don't know much about her. But Chantel, I know her. She's the one who beat Katie Taylor. This was like about almost a couple years ago. Originally, Katie Taylor and Serrano supposed to have a rematch in England, not Ireland, not UK, Ireland. I'll say UK. But, something happened to Amanda. She had an injury because she couldn't do that fight. So Chantel became the replacement. And Chantel beat Katie Taylor. And I say, thank you. Somebody, beat her. And then they had a rematch because, Katie Taylor can't go, hey, I took a loss. I can't, hey, here you go. So, and then this time around, Katie Taylor won. But here's the thing is, Katie Taylor is a dirty fighter. Look at that. Come on, folks. Come on, she did that. Her record is just spotty. So I think maybe in the future we might get to see, depending on who wins in the main event, we might get to see a rematch between Chantel and Katie Taylor. If Katie loses, I think that'd be a great rematch. Her on top of her class and maybe go back up against Katie Taylor again. Now, next up, we have two ladies I'm familiar with. We have here Savannah Marshall versus Khadija Green for the Unified Super Middleweight Championship. And Savannah's been quite a game for quite some time, come from Great Britain. Competing for a long time. Her rivalry with Clarissa Shields is one of the top rivalries right around. As this fight was about almost a couple years ago when they fought, and Clarissa beat Savannah Marshall. And Khadija, she's been fighting for a good bit. She's been a basketball player. She's also signed to Jake Paul's MVP fight promotion. So there's her and both, Serrano are the only two women part of the promotion. And, they do have an opponent common. Savannah beat, Zern some years ago. And, Khadija lost to French-Jean Zern, was last year. And right now, as recently, some time ago, Savannah took a step into mixed martial arts. She fought in PFL some time ago. And there was talk to me about maybe possibly a match between her and, Clarissa Shields. But, Clarissa Shields recently retired from doing MMA. And recently, there was also that same fight card with Tyson versus Paul. So they should fought an opponent. She won. So that's pretty good. Now, she gets to be part of another Jake Paul fight card. Now, here is the co-main event. And that is Alicia the Bomb Baumgarten versus Jennifer Miranda for the undisputed super featherweight championship. This is a really interesting fight. Both ladies have good skills. I think with Miranda, she's 12-0. She's from Spain. You don't know Alicia. She's almost like, 14, 15, and 1. She only has one loss on her record. Alicia Baumgarten, I'm a fan of hers. Amazing fighter, amazing physique, very attractive. She's been dominant in the last few years in the fight game, especially in super featherweight. And maybe a future might be maybe a fight between either her or maybe Clarissa Shields. She's been wanting to fight Clarissa Shields, but she's too way out of Clarissa Shields' weight class. But maybe her, Amanda Serrano, or Katie Taylor, if possible. Like I said, I know much about Miranda. She's from Spain. She's 12-0. This is, to me, I feel like it's a rubber match. I feel like the match we really want to see is these two ladies, Michaela Meyer and Alicia Baumgarten. It wasn't long ago they were part of that same fight card with Savannah and Clarissa. And their rivalry. They were still like shit talking, and this was the only loss that I believe Michaela Meyer has on her record. And you know what? I'm happy for her. But this is what us who really are fans of boxing, this is a rematch we want to see. No offense to to Miranda, but we want to see Mayer versus Baumgartner. That's the fight I really want to see. I think the same thing with Alicia. I think she wants that rematch just to prove that she dominated just like the first fight. But we got to wait down the road, maybe by the end of the year, maybe by the first of next year. We just, it's always things like money and, politics and all that. But eventually it will happen. So as we know, this is going to be a battle to end all. This is the third fight. And Katie Taylor's 2-0. And to me, she should be 0-2. I mean, it's just, I'm a fan of Amanda Serrano. I think she's an amazing fighter, proud Puerto Rican fighter, tradition of boxers from that country. And this is, I think, it probably might be one of the biggest events for women in combat sports outside of MMA. In boxing's always been the top traditional combat sports in America for years. And this is a great opportunity for women to represent themselves. Jake Paul, like I said, I'm not a fan of the guy, but I really appreciate what he's doing, stepping up, giving women the opportunity to show that they deserve a seat at a table when it comes to boxing. So it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be in New York, Madison Square Garden. It's going to start 8:00. The first fight is the 3-minute round fight between Thibault and Casamassa. And then, the main event is going to be Serrano versus Taylor. So I got you to jump on Netflix, watch it. Anybody who's watching it, hey, send me. I'm not saying send me a bootleg link, but let me know the results. I might try to catch it. Maybe my man, the coach, will talk about this. But this is a great opportunity for women to represent themselves in boxing. They deserve this opportunity. Shout out to Jake Paul. Not a fan of his as a boxer, but I'm a fan of what he does promote for women and also for fighters in combat sports. Anyway, this is your man always, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Combat Sports Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.